Hello everybody, this is of course that wonderful time on the internet when I do my wonderful tarot show. I am of course the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day Nick Dutch. On this one particular YouTube channel, what do? I do tarot readings. This is my tarot pack, the one I tend to go to. Same one that I use when I'm working over the internet, over the telephone, and I'm doing those wonderful tarot readings for you to give you that perspective, insight, and all the rest of that I am especially skilled and gifted in providing for you. Now, I've been doing tarot for a long time, so it's the ideal service for anyone out there who's interested in the strange, the unusual, wants to get a bit of extra perspective. Obviously, the best reason for you personally to get yourself a tarot reading is so that you can get another perspective on life. Doesn't always mean to say you'll get the perspective that you want, doesn't always mean to say you'll get the perspective that you were hoping for when you get on the phone and you give me a call, when you get on the internet chat and you come for a live tarot reading that way, or when you give me an email tarot reading. Remember, this one particular show, the tarot show with Nick Dutch today, okay, this is the one place where you can get tarot readings from me completely free of charge, okay, the only place where I will ever offer readings free of charge, okay, that's just the way that things are. Do you know why? Okay, do you know why? Of course you do. Because this is my job, okay? Some people say, well, you know, tarot is about spirituality, everyone should be giving it away for free. Well, the bottom line is, if you were, you know, working in a petrol station, okay, pumping gas for people, and you really, really love pumping gas, and your boss turned around to you and says, you know, I see you here every day, 8 hours, you know, every single day, Monday to Friday, always pumping gas, I know you get a great buzz out of it, you say, yeah, that's great, but then your boss turns around to you and says, okay, well, in that case, you can do it for no money. You just sit there and think, well, how am I going to pay the bills? Now, I'm literally doing this so I can pay, you know, my council tax, my electric, my gas, all the rest of that kind of stuff, as well as, you know, the food to keep me fed. That's why I charge for this service, and I'm good. Legally speaking, a tarot reading is billed as an entertainment service for good common sense reasons, because I should not be the person who makes up your mind for yourself, okay? And that goes when you're dealing with any other reader, spiritualist, medium, and all the rest of that. And if they sort of present too strongly that they are, you know, the way, the truth, and the light, then maybe you've got to be a bit cautious about them. That's one thing I will say. Now, I've got a whole load of emails out there which I'm going to go to one at a time. There were still a few left over from the last time, so, you know, I mean, I've got a lot on my plate today, but I'm going to just try and head through them. I'm going to try and whiz through them as best as I can until I've got as many done as I think I can do within this one particular show, and, you know, then we'll stop, and then we'll start again next time. I do apologise for not having done a show. I have been rather ill recently, and I spent many days sort of like perpetually with tons of tissue boxes beside me because I was streaming. It was one of the worst situations in the world. Well, okay, it wasn't. Alright, but on the other hand, it felt like it. You know what it's like when you got a bad fluish cold. Either way, that's over. That's in the past. Now we can try and get back onto the order of the day, which is to provide you with the quality entertainment service that you've been asking for. Now, if you want your reading to appear in a tarot show, you can do it free of charge. Hey, isn't that cool? Now, now the way that you do that is you send me an email through, not a private message on this channel, okay? It has to be an email. That's the only way I can keep them in sequence and keep them in order, okay? Keep everything together, because I have very little time to muck around, okay? So I need to keep everything organized and structured, okay? That's why you send it through by email to Nick Dutch Tarot, all one word, lowercase, okay? Or one word, lowercase, I should say, alright? nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Then that will add you to the rota, and I'll be able to get straight on and tackle your reading. As you can see, still got a bit of a whole you know, chesty cough thing going on there, which is the end of my cold. But on the other hand, it's still going, so I'm still very happy. All right, now get those you know, inquiries sent through, because the more I get coming through, the more motivation I have to carry on putting the show out. It takes a long time for me to shoot the show. It takes a long time for me to, you know, edit the video so it looks good when it goes out there. It takes a long time for me to render it. It takes me a long time for me to upload it. I think the longest time I spent doing one tarot show was something like 9 hours. Alright, so it is a large chunk out of my day, and you get this, you know, free of charge. So think about, you know, think about that. When you get your questions through to me, Okay, when you get your questions through to me on the email address nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Alright, nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Not that I want to say it too hard or too much, okay. What I want you to do is give me your first name, your date of birth, and a question. If you can give me a bit of basic background, that will be good. Try and move away from more general stuff and try and go into more specific stuff. If you want a general call, then there are some services in which I provide that. Okay, I don't provide it on keen.com. I don't provide it on LivePerson, but if you call me via Psychic Live Services or kumar.com, which is a company I'm on within the United States of America, that's KOOMA.com. My PIN number is 2483, then yes, I can do a general reading, okay? Or if you want to call me in the UK, that's kuma.co.uk, KOOMA.co.uk. Again, PIN number 2483, and then I can do you a general reading on that one particular service. It's just the way I work. Don't ask too many questions about that, okay? It's just the methodology and all the rest of it. Okay. I've done too much talking already. You want to see some readings, you want to see some action, you want to read, the fun, the excitement of seeing a professional psychic doing his work. Let's get straight on with the first reading of today. Okay, Kendra, you got a new relationship sorting itself out. You want to make sure it's moving in the right direction. Okay, here we go. Traditional fortune teller's shuffle, in which case you do one shuffle, you then turn the cards, and then you do it again. Okay, that way you get some cards upright, some cards reversed. It's the way it works. It's the methodology. All right. So for any of you tarot readers out there or trainee tarot readers, bear that in mind. That's the way it's done. Let's have a look, Kendra, at your relationship. See how that's heading out. Okay. All right. Looking quite optimistic. So far. Progression into the future. Ooh. You may have some challenges, alright? Let's just have a quick look and see what the reading says. Here we go. Right, these are the cards in front of me, alright? Forces between the two of you, very positive. Now, essentially when you've got a cup sign that's reversed, it could mean that there's issues of some description, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say there's problems. There's still a sense of there being that connection. You're still building new levels of foundation being created. On their side of things, strong, powerful male energy there, very interesting, very interested in you. Playing it reasonably cautiously, they're not going to let on too soon, too early, but the sense and the desire for there to be a progress is definitely there. Your side of things, you felt isolation before, now there's a sense of there being a desire to overcome negativity, which is going to happen here. Bit of a rock and roll ride until you reach that level of clarity, but it is moving in the right direction. Next 3 to 6 months might have a few issues, but you're still moving in the right direction. Okay, Tanya, you've got a bit of complexity going on there with this one individual. Kind of like hot and cold stuff going on. Alright, well let's have a quick look and see what's coming through there. Again, traditional shuffle. If you can't see my hands whilst I'm talking to you, likely it is I'm using them constructively to do the actual spread itself. Okay, camera's running out of battery, so I'll try and be quick and try and get as many in as I can. Okay, energy between the two of you, a little cold, but definitely a feeling of planning and trying to get something new in place. Now, this card is called Science. I've shown it to you before, okay, for those of you who know the show. And essentially this is talking about thinking and trying to think more and think harder about how the actual relationship itself has been going and can go. Very intellectual, very experimental as well, but also healing. So you're dealing with someone who needs that healing in place. On their side of the reading, this is an individual who can be, a pillar of strength and satisfaction for you, but also they do have feelings for you, but they're not quite sure which way to take things, but it looks like it's moving forward again. Now, you've got a strong feeling of connection. That's why you've tried dating other people. Didn't quite work out according to plan. But, you yourself have got a feeling of uncertainty about this. Let's project short-term, mid-term, long-term. All right? Similar to the last reading, bit of strife and struggle in the short-term future. Okay, we got the typical signs of strife and struggle coming out there, followed by the same male individual becoming much more, I would say, human, much more down to earth, much more affectionate, and leading on to a steady level of progress. Getting calmer. He's not forcing himself nor forcing the situation. He's tried to force it too much in the earlier days, grew a bit tired of that, okay, and now he's basically trying to work out what he really wants. And then essentially a time is going to come when he won't need to force it, and he'll just start to start to go with the flow. But he's got to get his mind and his body all sort of like in alignment with that, if you know what I mean. But it looks like that sort of thing will happen. Now that explains to me a feeling of something like reconnection. of feeling something like reconnection, which should be able to deliver you a few benefits. So it looks optimistic from what I'm seeing. Okay, I think this person's called Deity. Okay, well, you want to find out about your earning potential outside of your profession. You've explained you've got a few problems going on there. Let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Okay, obviously looking out for earth signs, financial signs. Let's have a quick look for you. Right. Okay, well, we got an interesting one there. There's nothing directly coming out, which suggests to me, well, not much directly coming out on the earth side of things, apart from this one here. Alright? And that's normally talking about caution, but I think that's talking about choosing a new route with care. But it looks like it could well be something entrepreneurial, okay? The Emperor is someone who is in a position of strength and power. You probably don't feel like you're in a position of strength and power because you've got an idea which has come to you from your own creativity, your deep subconscious mind, your innate wisdom, okay? Your innate wisdom which you've got as to what you want to achieve. You're not sure whether it's the right direction to go, but alright, your heart's in it. So this is when you got to do the whole heart to head duality thing and trying to work out which direction to go in. And I would say try and use both, because the heart will actually plan it. The head will plan it, the heart will direct it. And so essentially your intention may be correct, but you do have to research methodology of how these things can actually happen so you can get the results that you're after. Now, in trying to achieve your end goal, watch out for the people that you'll be dealing with, because some of them might not necessarily treat you all that well, because they themselves have got issues. They might try and lower you to their own level. Don't let that happen. Let your strength come to the fore, and essentially I think you'll be okay, because it's a bit of a route to get there, but I'm pretty sure you will find another way of doing things, and you will get the financial stability that you're after. Okay, Brian wants to be an anime writer, and also he's looking for a relationship. Okay, let's have a quick look and see what the reading says about both of those things. So we're looking out for mercurial signs, obviously we're looking out for love signs. We'll do a chronological spread and see how that's going to emerge for you. Bear with me a second, please. Here we go. Oh, alright, signs have changed. That's very nice. Signs of something of a spiritual nature. Let's have a quick look. Alright, we got a whole progression here, so this is actually looking not too bad, alright? Earth sign starting here, so on the career side of things, you're moving in the right direction because you're down to earth, you're practical, you're pragmatic. A bit of a change in the way things are happening, followed by the sort of more mercurial signs immediately after that. That goes along very nicely with what you were talking about writing that variety of anime or anime fiction, okay? So that you can actually get the career sorted out that you are after. This is a progression in its own right. This is a process in its own right. You've learned an awful lot. I think you can do it. All right, and that's where the thrust of this reading is talking about mainly, because from here it's all like something which is of your spirit, something which is from your heart coming to the fore basically, and you managing to defend that position. I often see the Princess of Swords as being a defensive energy because of the parry that she's got with the sword there. I don't know whether you can see that. Obviously, it's a very nice tarot pack. Thank you very much to the person who gave it to me, okay? So essentially, you have to defend that position, defend what you know, and carry on building upon it to try and get to the goal. The change, the financial signs there and there, obviously suggesting that will actually be a very important part of your career. But this spread's not talking about love, so we'll do another one just to inquire whether there is love coming in immediately or in the short term. Okay, Hermit, you've been isolated for a while, okay? Feeling of emotional cruelty which has sort of come upon you as a result of the past being amplified by the Seven of Swords. So you haven't been feeling too happy, but the Ace of Swords is speaking about victory. So when we do look at the subjects of love, we can see a sense of progression towards victory associated with someone who's going to have passion, drive, determination, and also looks like they will motivate you in your work, in your career that you actually need at the moment. So essentially I'm seeing that very positively, and again more signs of success. There is a narrative there on the love side too. We were reading about a co-worker, Julia, who's apparently being a bit of a nasty piece of work at the moment. What is it with co-workers? But on the other hand, why is it I work for, I work alone, I work for myself. That's obviously the way that I personally prefer it. Let's have a quick look and see what the reading says. Okay, one step at a time, bit by bit. Right. Well, the shaman of old tend to say that the person who's got a sick soul can't necessarily be cured. And do you have someone who's got a sick soul, or do you have someone who's got sick perceptions, alright? Doesn't understand the world. Someone who's been hurt so much that they see everything as if it's through a distorted lens. I mean, we've got some water signs associated with them. Alright, now water signs can speak of love, but if this person hates you, then they're not in a position of love, they're in a position of delusionment. Alright, so it's a question of perception and sick perceptions, which is affecting their ability to actually behave in the right way. Now, there is some sun signs with them as well, so I don't think that they actually want to be like this. It's like they sort of like do something really bad, and then they go home from work afterwards, look at themselves in the mirror and sort of go, oh, why did I do that? You know, it's like, it's not from the core star, it's not from right within, it's behaving because of some sort of like fear. Okay, you're dealing with someone who's very fearful, and that appears to be the motivation. I don't think you've done anything to her. It's that she's got a problem that goes back a long, long way into her past. And so I wouldn't worry about her or take her too seriously, because, like, you know, that's her issue. As far as a new opportunity for you is concerned, let's cut the deck once and see basically what's going to come through in that particular respect. So here we go. Oh. When the Ten of Coins comes up, it speaks about real wealth. It doesn't speak about just doing a job. It speaks about real wealth, which I think is further on down the line for you. You have to find your niche. You have to find out where your heart is and what you're designed to be able to achieve. Because the feeling that the reading is giving me is that you're underemployed at the moment. You are underemployed, okay? And I feel that you can take what you've already got and take it to a higher level. Not immediately, but there will be an opportunity for you. You just got to keep, keep the scanners peeled, alright, for those newspaper adverts to have the right variety of job in them. Okay? Okay, Ryan, you'd like me to do a reading on the situation between yourself and your father. You're working for your father. Always very difficult when that happens, isn't it? Alright, because all kinds of things can get in the way. You got all the history behind you and all the rest of that. And of course with family, you're not always seen as being necessarily an employee. But let's have a quick look and see what the reading says, alright? Okay, on your side of the reading, much greater signs relating to more responsibility. The Lover's card speaks about new things, but one of the traditional meanings is to leave your family and to join up with something else which is more your sort of thing. I mean, in a relationship sense, what this often means is the young man leaving the company of his mother and moving on to get married to somebody, basically. That's kind of like transition in life. But it primarily means greater responsibility in a situation which is better designed for you. And why would that come out in a career spread? Well, think about it. It's talking about you actually finding your own niche and your own position. If you turn over a few more cards there, where you are at the moment, it's a similar situation to the last reading. You are underemployed, but there's also a feeling that where you are at the moment is not pushing yourself in the right direction, because it's not really opening you up to new understandings and new skills. Have you thought of doing an extra course of education, not just to prove yourself to your father, but to prove yourself to another employer? Just something else, just to keep the ball rolling. The energy there is that of change, and change is needed, and it will happen. Okay, Oscar, congratulations on the new job. Alright, seriously, right on. That's wonderful. Alright, it's always good when someone gives me a bit of good news, especially in these dark and dismal, gloomy times we've got at the moment, alright? But let's have a quick look and see what the reading says about success and happiness where you are. Let's hope it's all going to come through. Shuffling very thoroughly. All I can do is show you what I can see, okay? I can't do anything else, but let's have a quick look and see what's happening. Oops, I forgot to cut the deck, so I'll cut the deck there. And turn them around the way that you should. Alright, for anyone out there who's learning tarot, here we go. Right, we got a progression out of the darkness into the light. The very first card that we've got there, dark, spooky colours. Right, that's where you were. Alright, this is a chronological spread. That's the first card in the spread. That doesn't always talk about the here and now. But I get the feeling with this new job, okay, it may have been a bit of a challenge to get back into the whole routine for you. And so maybe some of that is still with you. Some of that whole sort of like negative stuff. Getting it back into the working routine, getting used to what it means to be in the world of work, and so on and so forth. Now, the energy of the rest of the spread is actually much brighter. If I can just hold up the cards for you there. Oh, isn't that lovely? It's a bit like a rainbow, okay? By comparison, if you think about that, you've got the dark energy of the past, And then you're moving on to sort of brighter colours, brighter energy, and a sense of progression there, okay? Now, the penultimate one there, being the Six of Cups, actually speaks about pleasure, happiness, joy, and a time of celebration, okay? So that's what you got there further on down the line. But in the meantime, you got to carry on growing it, and nurturing it, and allowing it to progress so that you can get to where you want to go. Because after 12 months of being here, you know something big is going to happen. You also asked about your love life. There are cup signs towards the end, but there's also nurturing signs at the beginning of the year. It looks like you're going to come across someone possibly within the next 2 or 3 months who's probably going to be right for you, and you'll build the relationship on and off until such time as you're going to like to start to settle down and settle down well. So it looks like you're going to have some luck in that side of things too. Obviously name the first 22,000 children after me. Alright? Just joking. Okay, Elisa. Firstly, I'll point out I don't read upon medical issues, so I can't help you there. Okay? But let's have a quick look and see what the reading says about the possibility of a house move. Alright? I wouldn't worry about what the other readers have said. Alright, just sweep that out of your mind entirely. You've got to do what's right for yourself at the moment, as well as plan for the longer term. According to the reading, you're going to get a bit of help, assistance and guidance, whether that's just emotional support or practical support to different issues here. But the number of heart signs we've got coming through are quite good. You've got your own dreams you want to bring out into reality, okay? But when the sun and the moon come together, that also means doing things in a balanced way. Alright, you don't want to carry on pushing yourself too far and push yourself over the edge. You want to do things in a balanced way to try and get the results that you're after, basically speaking. You're a very sensitive individual, but you also know what's right for yourself instinctively. And the thing to do is to carry on bringing yourself on the right path. There's no signs of failure here, but this one here can speak about doing things slowly so you get the right results. Alright? So just like that old-fashioned phrase, okay? Easy does it, but do it. Do you know what I mean? Okay. You want to see if there's marriage for you this year? Okay, it's a bit of a situation you've been through, what with that relationship, kind of like initially working out, then sort of like going a bit bad. But let's have a quick look and see what's coming through. I'll just tell you what the reading says, alright? See whether the reading is talking about marriage at all, full stop. And then we'll sort of take it from that point then, shall we? Shall we? Okay, here we go. Right. Alright, oh, passion, thoughts. Change, stability, healing. You've got a lot of very interesting energy coming your way. Now, initially, straight away from the top, alright, the signs of passion I was speaking about are here. Alright, some of this passion is positive, some of it is negative. You are driven to this individual, then essentially there may have been some anger turned inwards when things didn't quite work out according to plan. So that didn't help you, that didn't make you feel all that much happier, but on the other hand, you still cared for that individual. But I'm just getting, I've got a lot of signs in this reading talking about change, but also rather circular signs as well. Now, essentially, the very feminine Four of Staves is very Venusuvial, very much to do with the heart chakra, but also to do with the mind as well, and getting a good balance right. But it can also speak about bringing things into some kind of unity. That's why it's a head and heart sign, and it's sometimes labelled as completion in this particular case, because you got the balance of the two, and working in harmony for a particular goal to emerge. Alright, and that's when we got the signs relating to change. So essentially, is marriage something which is coming out in this reading? Definitely a change of state from this combination between being driven as well as being bitter to a point of there being the potential for there to be something really rather good around the corner. Okay, now, what have you got there? Well, your Ace of Coins there, good old-fashioned Ace of Coins, Earth sign, stable but focused. Alright, number ones are often to do with focus. Okay, focus, discipline, dedication. Eight of Swords, healing and forgiveness. Why would there be forgiveness? Well, you mentioned in your question that there was, you didn't quite get on. Something happened, creating emotional negativity. If there's to be a healing of the relationship, boom. Alright, there'd have to be forgiveness going both ways. Just like, it's got a rainbow symbol on the top there. That refers to, the Noachian flood, okay? That refers to the time when the story says there was forgiveness against those who'd done bad, and of course the rainbow was shoved up in the sky. You know what I mean, alright? So that is that kind of forgiveness. We are not going to go there anymore. Let all that pass, and let's, you know, be back to being one again, leading to signs of peace and truce. Two of swords here, talking about balance, equilibrium, peace after a battle. Sometimes it does refer to conflict, but not in this particular context, taking into account the progression of the story through the cards themselves, because the cards tell a story, and the cards have told me a story, which essentially speaks about reconciliation, and that is very positive. Ashley R. Okay, you want to see whether you'll get a relationship that lasts, and what will your career be like in the coming future? Okay, here we go. Right, same as usual, combination of tarot and anything else that comes through, amen, and all that kind of stuff, alright? Okay, now, your career, again, shuffle very thoroughly. We got the 10 of coins coming out there. Your very long-term future, because that's further on down the line, is essentially going to be very good, alright? Don't worry about that. The situation you're in at the moment, at the tail end of the winter of this year of 2013, God almighty, 2013 sounds so odd, doesn't it? You know, it just sounds really odd, 2013, no, either way. So we're in February at the moment, 2013. You're not going to be in this particular state for all that much longer. We got the delightful death card, alright, and I say it's delightful because it's the message is that of from the chrysalis to the butterfly. Alright, that's what the death card means. You asked about your career. We got signs relating to extreme wealth further on down the line. This time next year you'll be in a different situation. Mark my words. Alright, mark my words. So that's looking very good. Now, as far as will you actually be in a relationship that's going to last and going to last a long period of time? Ooh. What is the art card trying to tell us? Okay, this is the 14th card of the Major Arcana within the Book of Thoth Tarot. And this is speaking about a blending of the energies. Darling. Do I have to draw you a picture? Come on. Two people, different genders, getting together. Yeah. I think that's looking quite nice for you. Alright. As far as when's that going to happen? Not immediately, alright? Just because you've had a reading with me doesn't mean to say that by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning everything's going to be fine and dandy. This is about the progression into the future. It's not about the here and now. It's not about tomorrow morning 9 o'clock either. It is about the way that things are going to be for you. Something is predestined for you which is going to do you a lot of good. Have faith in that. And also I get a strong feeling about the summer of this year. Involved in this field, you want to do talks and presentations about all this kind of like wonderful mystical stuff, brilliant. The more people the merrier. Seriously, the more people the merrier. The more people who are talking about this, spreading it, promoting it, the better. Because I think that there's something out there which is true, which is real, which we've experienced, which we don't fully understand. And how is like modern science going to actually do the research that's necessary unless more and more people get involved, if you know what I mean. Unless more and more people get involved, you know, basically nothing can happen, and that'll be a bad thing. So, good on you, my son, you know what I mean, alright? So, let's have a quick look. I don't think you're being silly, I think you're being very sensible. Those are the two most salient cards for you, okay? The Ace and the Deuce of Cups. Because they speak about perception, they speak about sensitivity, they speak about love, they think about something from the heart going further forward into the future, okay? They speak about you being driven, okay? Driven to achieve something that's going to work for you. And that's why everything's going to start being a little bit more dedicated. Now, in this particular case, the Prince of Swords, you know, it's a driven individual. It's someone who's driving against the trends, against the current, against the paths to make sure you get what you want. You're fighting, all right? But also it's willpower and it's intelligence, all right? Something divine entering into you to make sure you do something because of something you feel inside your heart. You're doing the next right thing. I really feel that. Okay, Trisha's made an inquiry about herself and this one particular individual. Thinks they might be soulmates. Wants to see where, you know, how it's going to go. Let's have a quick peek for you and see basically what the wonderful Mystic Tarot is going to have to say about that. Alright, it's obviously not my opinion. It's all about what goes on from upstairs down here, if you know what I mean. Let's have a quick look. Bear with me a second, please. Combination of tarot and anything else that comes through. Diddly diddly dee. Boom. Right, well, you got a very interesting spread, I must say. Alright. So, forces between the two of you at the moment. Very interconnected, very strong, very powerful. I like that, okay? Signs on their side of the reading. You're dealing with someone who's very loving, can be very balanced, but has had a very difficult past. Someone whose past does encroach upon them in the here and now, but wants to overcome that so they can start becoming a better quality of individual. Now, the signs of new balance and new perspective is starting to emerge, but they're also someone who's very geared to a very literal justice in this particular case. When they see injustice, they want to act against it. Now, you're also quite a down-to-earth, practical individual. You're also someone who may think along similar lines, but you're approaching the same subject from a different direction. That's what's causing some of the problems. Now, your longer-term future, we've had this one coming up before, and it's come up again. And this is talking about being able to plan and prepare for the future. You've got your bond, you've got the connection, you want to discuss it more, you discuss it more, you come to some conclusions, okay, and from the conclusions you get to do something really positive like make the connection work. Alright, that's the way I'm seeing it, that's the way it's coming through. Alright, now I'm going to leave that as the last reading for today. My throat's starting to go. I'm still not completely better after my cold, but at least I've made a bit of a headway into the mountain of reading inquiries which have come through. And I'll do another tarot show very soon to start, carry on going through what we've got there. And then everything will start working out according to plan. I'll be back on track. You guys will be happy. If you want to catch me live, get on the phone. Links below. Alright, because I do this for a living. It's my job. I'm a professional tarot reader. Also, if you don't want to have a tarot reading but you still want to have a conversation with someone like me who's empathic, compassionate and actually wants to be able to help you with your problems, go to the Oxford Therapeutic Coaching website, okay, and you can purchase consultations for to be had over Skype, or alternatively, if not over Skype, then over Yahoo Instant Messenger, and then from that we can have conversations rather than readings if that's what you prefer. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. My name is the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch. That just trips off the tongue, flows like wine into something that contains wine, or whatever. Or like moonbeams over a beautiful silver landscape, you know what I mean? Anyway, alright. And I'll speak to you again very, very, very soon. Remember the email address, nickdutchtarot@gmail.com. Give me a call sometime and we'll speak again soon. God bless.